Welcome back to episode 4 of Valley Sports Talk. On our show today, we have our NBA awards so far. My name's Noah, and as always, I'm here with
Brandon.
And Brandon. Max.
The guy who got a haircut.
Yeah.
Look at it. Oh,
Yeah,
so
crazy.
cute.
Yeah. No hat today, no toque, no nothing. So just bald.
if you want to talk about bald, then
Why do you think I'm wearing a hat?
On today's episode, we're gonna look back at our All-Star starters since they were just released last night. We're gonna do top 5. We're gonna do underrated players, and then we're gonna do top 5 perimeter defenders. We're gonna go into our NBA awards so far, and then we're gonna finish it off with a little overrated or underrated point guard edition. So speaking of that, we will start talking about the All-Star starters.
I can't go first. I gotta go last.
People, I think I had the worst.
Oh, we were talking about them? Okay. Yeah.
I think I had the worst
Predicament?
I think
Predictions.
predictions. I think I went 7 for 10. You went 8, and you went 9.
Yeah.
So I had both my East guards wrong. I can see why both of them got in, but obviously I took record, which is why I didn't have Beal. Kyrie was a bit more surprising for me, but at the same time, he still does deserve it, so fair enough. In the West, however, I still do not agree with Luka getting in over Dame. Luka has the most turnovers in the league right now, but he also does have the ball in his hands about 75% of the time, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt then. But the Trailblazers have been a surprise this year, to say
They've
the
done
least.
really well.
And the Mavericks
And
have
they don't
been...
even have McCollum.
That's what I mean, yeah.
And Nurkic.
Yeah.
And then the Mavericks have been a disappointment. So
Cantor's been really good. Just saying.
yeah, you traded him away. So
Well,
not to me.
Did get Jalen Brown. No, that's not you.
You got beef. That was a
Yeah, I
great
got
trade.
fish trade, but you guys can't shirt my team. It's insane. So.
I think you downgraded over the weekend for sure. You made a couple trades, and I don't know if you won them.
I think
We'll
so.
see. We'll find out.
What do you think about his? What do you think about him trading with me?
I don't know.
Did you like that one?
He texted me after. He's like, "What are
I
you
got-
doing?"
I got-
That's the first
No,
thing
I
he said.
texted him. I said,
He's
"Are
like,
you okay?"
He's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "What?" He's like, "You just traded away Ben Simmons or Jalen Brown and Ben Simmons for Westbrook whenever you just got traded away." I was like, "I just wanted Ben Simmons."
Yeah. See, you guys wanted Ben Simmons, but
I
I
don't
got
want Ben
Jalen
Simmons.
Brown and Pascal Siakam. I'm not complaining. And
Yeah,
Siakam played really well.
I know.
last night.
He played really well last night.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the only disagreement I have. I still believe Luka and Curry should be the backcourt, but
Luka and Curry.
or
And Dame.
Dame and Curry. Sorry, Luka should not be in there.
Who do you think is a better player right now, Doncic or Luka? Sorry, not Doncic or Luka. Dame or Luka?
I don't know.
If you right now, who's the better player? Who would you rather want on your team?
Dame.
I would probably have to go Dame as well.
I think so too. I honestly, it would be really close. But if you look at,
That's a hot take.
but if you look at Luka's stats, man,
Not this year. They're not that good. His field goals.
His field goal is not great, but he's still putting up insane stats. Like, he's
Yeah,
still putting
he
up
also-
29, 9.
He doesn't have
9.
anybody
yeah.
else around him. Like this.
Oh,
like,
Porzingis.
I mean, yeah, but he's
Okay,
not
but there's
taking
no- okay, but-
he's not the ball handler.
But like
He's not
Yeah.
gonna-
Lillard couldn't, like, I guess obviously Doncic, you could say the same for Doncic, but Doncic can't put up Lillard stats, but Lillard definitely couldn't put up Doncic stats. Like Doncic stats are
the
more
only thing that Dames doesn't get that Luka gets is rebounds.
and assists.
Dame gets probably up close to it.
Not really.
Dame's probably averaging like 6, and Luka's
Yeah,
probably
but
like
Luka's like, I thought he was like closer to 10.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I thought he was behind like LeBron and.
Luka's definitely like
8.
his
You do
stats are
Luka.
still.
You got Luka. I got Dame.
Okay, well, while they figure that out, I went 9 for 10 in my All-Star predictions. I got the West perfect. The only thing I got wrong is I picked James Harden over Kyrie Irving. And, I mean, I can see why they picked Irving, but it was close.
for Dame.
Okay, so
Dame has 8 assists?
Oh, 7.7.
7. We round up.
Yeah,
It's
So
past
8, and then
He has 9.5.
Luka's like 9.5. So like you could go.
9.5. But
2 rebounds
be
higher.
fair,
2 assists higher.
don't get me wrong, he's not playing that. He has a higher field goal percentage than Dame. He does. He's 47% from the field, whereas Dame's 45.
Yeah, but what's
That's three.
Doncic's 3-point? It's this.
33 and a half,
33,
yeah,
or
and then
38,
Dame's
but
38.
that's still comparable.
Yeah, but 33 is kind of like.
It's not good, but you don't
No.
need. But LeBron was never a good three-point shooter, and he still was really good from the field, and
Yeah.
you still consider him an MVP level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even his PERs actually went up. Dame has a little bit better PR, but 26.8 to 27.
League average is 15.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's close.
So don't get me wrong, Doncic isn't necessarily playing.
He's also
his-
shooting 80% free throws, where where Dame is.
Only 80?
Yeah, his free throw is 79.5. I rounded
Last year
up.
he was at 74.
Why?
And
Why is he
Dame's
so
free
low?
throw is just over 93%.
Because Luka's not a pure shooter. He's not a pure like he's a shooter. Don't get me wrong. He can shoot, but Dame's a better shooter than
Damian Lamonte Ollie.
Is that his middle name?
Ollie.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's averaging 29 points, 8.5 rebounds, 9.5 assists on 47% from the field. Like, that's still freaking insane.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I mean,
that's
they're both
not-
all-stars.
Like
at
what
the
I
end
said,
of the day.
like what I said, I took record into effect
Yeah.
for mine, right?
They're both all-stars at the
Oh,
end
I
of
just
the
got a
day.
trade. No way.
From who?
No, got a trade. This request from Ethan.
Oh,
Ethan?
geez.
So he's probably gonna try and steal your whole team for nothing.
He's gonna make me some stupid
Zion for Shea.
trade. Why? Like, what are you doing, Ethan? If you're watching this,
He's not.
He's not watching this, but
And if
he's
he is,
watching
he didn't
this
make
right
it this
now.
far.
It's live. Ethan.
Shea's good and all, but he's not Zion.
He's
Well,
not
especially
Zion.
in a
Especially
in-
fantasy.
In a fantasy category league,
It's just like what?
Zion's way better.
This is what I hate. People send me trades that are just so stupid.
Well, that's just Ethan. Literally just
No,
Ethan.
Damon sent me a terrible trade.
I hope he watches that. Hope he watches.
Damon,
Are we done talking
I
about our
haven't
all-stars?
Yeah.
So guys, we're done talking about our all-stars. We'll be talking about the reserves once they're released. I think they're released next week.
Did we even talk about
Wait,
the
so wait,
All-Stars?
before
Yeah. We did.
the last thing I was gonna say is, so do you agree with Kyrie being in there?
Yes, I don't.
Obviously.
I don't not say he's not in there. But
He's an
that's just
all-star.
That was just not my prediction. Like I'm okay with him being in there.
We all had Irving in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Just
Some of us didn't start.
yeah, I didn't
So
know.
here's the thing though, I think Harden's playing better than Irving.
That's
Agree.
why I had
That-
Harden in the
I
starting
agree.
lineup. I
But
should have been
Harden's
10
not
for
even
10.
in this.
I should have been 10 for 10.
Oh, fuck off.
Texting him.
Okay,
Okay, we're getting him in.
we're gonna move on
We're
to
calling-
our.
one second,
No,
we're calling
we're,
him.
getting
we're,
him in?
we're getting a caller. We're getting a...
He's not going to hear it. from me.
You won't be able to hear it from Snapchat.
Okay, you're in the middle of a podcast right now, and for you to just be coming in with those trades, what are you doing? Come on.
Hey, I'm trying to fuck you over.
We can tell by the trades.
Well,
Apparently.
why would you think I would accept that trade? Hmm?
I don't know, because you're dumb.
All right, well,
Well, that's all. We just wanted to get you in, so you can say hi if you want to anybody.
Hello, podcast. I'd like to shout out my good buddy Braden Fisher, who's still playing Warzone.
Is he still?
He's still playing?
Wait, what? He's not playing anymore. What are you doing then? He's playing Black Ops now. Sorry, same shit.
Yeah, same
Same
game.
stuff,
Because,
different
you know,
game.
In the words of Braden Fisher, I played bad this morning with Brandon, so I need to get better.
Oh, yeah. He did play bad. I was
My
carrying.
skills.
I was carrying today.
that was a terrible trade
Oh, you
off for
definitely
Ethan. That really, like, there's...
That was,
What-
I could have gave you a win.
You could
Shea for Zion? Why would he accept that?
Why would I accept that?
Because you're dumb.
No, you're dumb for even suggesting it. That's what's really dumb here.
No, because I'm not dumb for suggesting, because worst case scenario, you decline it and it's fine.
Yeah, but it's just a waste of your time.
It's like a
Not
waste of your
really.
time.
I'm sitting here on a Zoom chat and I listen to my teacher, so it's not much of a waste of time.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Wait, so you're not coming back for the Friday Ice Time?
No.
Okay, good. You suck at goalie anyways.
Yeah, we got AJ back.
Hey, you know what? Goalie's difficult. I want to see any of you three try it.
No, it'd be alright.
I'd be alright, yeah. Hey, fuck. Screw you!
Hey,
Shit.
okay.
Okay, bye, Ethan.
Wait, one last question though. Ethan, if you were to have any player in the league on your team right now, who would it be?
For what, basketball?
Yeah. What's your missing piece for your fantasy team right now?
No, not fantasy. If you were the head coach of a team and you could pick any player in the league, who would you pick?
Sexton.
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 That's just because he's on his fantasy.
My boy.
Yeah.
What's his first name?
I was, Colin.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Alright, fair enough. Yeah.
Or my boy, Zach Levine. Or
Zach Levine.
Zach Levine.
yeah, he's a man, too.
What team does he play for?
The Bulls.
Nice.
There you go.
What team does Sexton play on?
The Cavaliers.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
Hey, this man is beating both of you in fantasy, so you guys
Yeah, but he's
can't-
losing this week.
Yeah, exactly. You guys can't say shit.
You're losing this week, though.
Fucking no, Damon's the little Jew. Picks up. I looked at the stats because I didn't have anyone playing yesterday, so I looked at his team. Neither did he, so I was like, oh, okay, perfect. I'm still gonna win. I go on this morning. I'm losing 5-4 now. I look, little prick picked up 3 guys off waivers just so he could beat me this week.
That's how you play fantasy.
I did that to Braden the other day too.
Probably still on.
Yeah, and then he dropped them, and I was like,
Yeah, I
oh,
did
you
drop him.
cocksucker.
I dropped him too.
I do that every single day.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. And then,
That's cheeky.
It's not cheeky. It's smart.
Ethan, you're never gonna be able to beat me ever.
I will beat you.
You're second
Just
for a
because he
reason.
said that I'll beat you.
No.
All right, let's let him go here.
All right. Well, you're getting antsy. We don't want you anymore. We've had enough.
What?
We've had enough of you.
Okay, have fun.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Boy.
Boy. So a little guest call that we did not prepare for there.
Yeah.
But ending there, we're going to jump right into our top 5 segment. We will start off with our top 5 underrated players in the NBA. I think we're all going to have completely different lists.
Probably.
There's
There's
a
so
lot
many
of
people.
players in the NBA.
There's so many people.
No, we have the.
Are you guys in order? Mine aren't in order.
Mine are in order.
I don't know how you can put
I
them in
guess
order.
you can't really put. It's hard to put them in order.
Okay, I'll just start. If you guys have the same person, even you probably won't, but if you have the same person, let's just talk about them all together. I have Norman Powell.
I do
Nope.
not.
You guys don't have him in there?
He's
Okay,
doing okay.
I just think he's underrated because since he's joined the Raptors and started his career, he's played off the bench and he's done well off the bench. But when he starts, he is an easy 20-point guy. What do you have? 29 last
29
night?
last night.
29 against the Bucks. He's always averaging. He'll get you around 20-some points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists if he's starting. But he's never really gotten a chance, and I think he's underrated for that reason.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, recently I had Powell on my own fantasy team, but I think he's putting up like Noah was saying.
20. He started since OG's been out, and even then, OG came back 2 games ago, and they've decided to go small ball.
It's about time.
Running Siakam at the 5.
my
Since he's
God,
been in
yeah.
the starting lineup, he's been averaging 22.
Yeah.
He
A
had 29
night.
points last night. And
He's just-
4
he's a
rebounds, 2
lamp.
assists, 2 steals.
He's
Wow.
a lamp. He had 15 or 16 points in the first quarter. Like he
Yeah.
just when he's
wasn't
on fire,
watching.
he's on fire. You
No,
didn't
yeah.
watch?
How's that work?
I watched. The
See,
Bucks look terrible.
The Bucks do
I'll
terrible.
give you that. He's a good He's a good underrated player.
Do you know what? So I was watching the Raptors game, and they said the Bucks are 6-0 against the Cavs and the Pistons,
There's 12 wins.
and are like 4 and whatever against everybody else.
Sick.
Which is kind of surprising. I mean,
They didn't have Drew Holiday though. Drew
but
Holiday.
still, they didn't have Kyle Lowry. Like,
True, I guess.
they looked terrible. I was watching the game, and it was like, I felt bad. They were that
I
bad.
don't know.
Second guy I got is Malcolm Brogdon.
No.
None of you guys got Malcolm Brogdon.
No, he hasn't been playing that great lately.
He's had a couple bad games. He's on my fantasy. He's been great. 22 points, 5 rebounds, 6.5 assists on a Pacers team that is playing a lot better than people thought. Like they're still hanging around in like 5th in the conference.
He actually had 2 really good games.
Yeah, more
Yeah, see, he's on my
23,
fantasy.
15, and
I was
5,
gonna
and
trade
15
for
rebounds.
Brogdon, I think.
I'm
wasn't
not
I?
trading Brogdon. He's been so good. He's kind of getting undershadowed by Sabonis this year, but I mean,
Oh my God, yeah, he
22, 5, and 6. You can't go wrong with
Last
that.
night you put up 32 points,
Yeah, he's
9
been great.
rebounds, 7 assists, 1
Okay,
steal, 1 block.
my third guy, Zach Levine.
No.
None of you guys got Zach Levine.
No,
Okay,
I told you we're gonna have
different.
This is good. This is good.
Okay, so Zach Levine, he doesn't. I mean, the Bulls don't really get a whole lot of attention, just because they're kind of poo-poo. But I mean, this year he's averaging 28 points,
Really?
5 rebounds, 5 assists, and he's shooting 44% from 3. I mean, he's really the only guy on that Bulls team. But Markkanen's hurt. He's like the only guy on that Bulls team, and he's underrated for sure. My fourth guy, I don't think you guys will have Porzingis.
No.
Porzingis, I feel he's never really talked about because you always got Luka Doncic and Porzingis has been hurt and stuff. But like over the past 3 seasons, he's been at least a 20-point player. He's averaging like 8 rebounds this game. He's getting a couple blocks for you a game. I would say he's a pretty good defender, and he's a great
rim protector.
and he's a great scorer. And
He's actually
he
a
doesn't
really bad defender for how big he is.
But you guys
But
rim
yeah, but
protection.
he's-
Don't get me wrong.
You'll
he's
get
great.
your rim protection.
Yeah,
Okay, you guys will probably Jordan Clarkson is my
No.
last guy.
I have him.
Jordan
as my-
Clarkson?
No,
No, you
well,
don't.
I don't have him as an underrated player.
Okay,
but I have
well
him.
then leave it.
We'll leave it.
Okay, never mind. I have
Jordan
him
Clarkson
as
is someone that never really gets talked about, and like I was looking at his stats last night, and so many things surprised me. Like over his career, he's never averaged. I think it was like under 15 points or something in his career. Maybe that's wrong.
terrible on the
He's got 18 points this year. He's shooting 40% from three, and he's shooting 96% from the free throw line.
And he's coming off the bench.
And he's coming off the bench. And I definitely, when you talk about the Jazz, you talk about Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Bogdanovich, maybe even Joe Ingles, and Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson deserves to be talked about.
Oh yeah, no.
So
I agree. With
I think
that.
me and Max only have one player that we have the same.
There's so many underrated players. in
There's so many
basketball.
players. So like, don't take this as like these like the top 5 underrated players. These are the first guys that come to our mind when we think of underrated.
Mine are the top 5. There's a wrong.
Okay. No particular order. Drew Holiday, great defender on the Bucks.
Yeah.
When you're behind Giannis and Middleton,
Yeah.
you're not going to get talked about very much. Even
though
then,
they're not playing that well.
even they're not playing well, but even then on the Pelicans, you know, he was their best player for like the past since the Anthony Davis trade. But he still got talked last year. You know, you had Zion, you had Brandon Ingram, but he was still, I'd say, that guy on that team. Number 4, I have Kyle Lowry. He just does everything to a T. Like,
Is
Raptors.
he underrated though?
Oh, Kyle Lowry is extremely
Yeah.
underrated.
Like, people will slander on him that he just isn't very good. You know, he's getting old, but he's still producing. I think he's averaging about 18
I don't know. I
and
would
7
argue
and 5.
when he got that championship with Toronto, people realized he was good. Like, and he's been an
Yeah, but then-
Yeah,
all-star.
but that's the thing about the
He's been an
media.
all-star in the
Nobody
past.
nobody talks about Toronto. So yeah, he was noticed when they won, but he's already forgotten. Like everyone on Toronto's forgotten.
Like,
Yeah,
me and Beal are like hardcore Raptors fans. I'm not sure about Max as much, but like, so we watch most of the games. He just has one of the most high basketball IQs I've seen. You know, he'll step in the lane, take charges.
when
He'll play,
Giannis is running 50 miles an hour.
play great defense. He scores when you need him to. I don't know,
Yeah, no, that's fair.
He's
put
averaging,
it
I
up.
think, 18 points.
Yeah.
just under 18, 6, and 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's super. He's pretty short, and he'll like
Climb up there.
Oh, he'll get you rebounds. Like
I'll
it's
give him that.
He's I got him on fantasy. He does well for me in the rebound category.
That's interesting for him to have that many rebounds for.
It goes
small guy.
unnoticed.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's definitely been playing well. I consider him just a little bit. Actually, no, go ahead, finish it. But I have a comparison.
Next, I have Chris Middleton. Again, I have 2 players on the Bucks, even though they're not playing very well at the moment we're recording this. You get overshadowed by Giannis. Even you could say again, he gets overshadowed by Drew Holiday at sometimes. He's 20 point per game scorer. He'll knock down that shot when you need him to.
Not last night.
Not last night.
I'm checking his stats. It was terrible.
And he's also an above average defender. 2nd round pick turned into an all-star, so personally he's underrated in my opinion.
He was a 2nd round pick.
Yeah.
Wow. He
2nd
shot
round pick by like the Pistons.
5 of 13, 0 for 3 from deep, 6 turnovers, 13 points.
Yeah, like, he's playing really well.
Oh yeah, I'm not chirping Middleton. He's a great player. Just had one off game.
Yeah,
but I
20
mean,
points.
I've seen him in the playoffs and against the Raptors and stuff. Even though,
Usually it's him that shows up in the playoffs.
yeah, I know.
to be
Even
honest,
though the Bucks lost against the Raptors when they won the championship, Middleton was a scary man.
He's putting up 26 and 6 on 50% from the field.
Oh, yeah.
43 from the 3.
Oh, I'm not arguing the pick at all.
I know. I'm just.
He's great.
Those are really good numbers.
Yeah. Oh
like,
yeah.
90% from the 3-throw line, and 43 from the 3, 50 from the field, and you're averaging 20.6 rebounds.
50-40-90.
I don't think there's that many other guys in the league that can
do that.
I don't think there's anyone else in the league right now that can do that. So like,
And I don't even think he's in like. Is he even in All-Star talks?
He wasn't in the fan voting, but he's been an All-Star the last 2 years, so he's going to be
The
up
fact
there.
that he's
The
not
thing
in
is,
the fan voting
It's
is
because
insane.
the Bucks are.
It's because he's
terrible.
not. Yeah.
But the Bucks are like
Not
in
terrible,
the top.
but they're not nearly.
But the
as
whole
good.
East has been terrible. There's like 3 teams in the East that are over 500 right now.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
The 76ers,
all
the
I'm
Bucks,
saying
the
is
Nets.
people are not
Maybe the Celtics.
people are
Celtics
not gonna
500,
be-
exactly.
The Celtics are 500.
People are not going to be high on him because
He's behind Giannis. Like Giannis
He's-
gets everything.
well,
All
not
the
even
media.
that. It's just like for one, yeah, you're behind Giannis, but two, it's like you're a complimentary piece you're a second guy on a mid-level team, and you've proven for the past 2 years that you guys get knocked out easily. So it's like I don't see he doesn't have that much value as an all-star. Like you put him, I'm gonna take Kyrie, I'm gonna take Beal, I'm gonna take all those guys.
But he's a front court player.
Okay, well, your you're not middle court. Your back court would be
Kevin Durant.
Giannis.
I'm not saying he's gonna be a
Embiid.
starter.
No, I'm not
at
saying
all.
he's a starter, but I'm just trying to list of people that are still like I would still take. I'd say he's on the same level as Siakam, honestly. I'd say he's the same level of player as Siakam is, but I think people would agree with that.
They're pretty similar. They can both. I mean, I think Middleton is capable of putting up more points, but I feel like they're both. I know Middleton's averaging 26, so
I'll take Middleton. I'll take Middleton over Lowry too. Just saying.
Well, I hope so. He's
I
a
hope
lot
you do,
bigger.
yeah.
Well, I don't know.
You can't talk. You can't say that when there's positions. It's like, I mean, it's like saying you would take.
Well, I'd take Ben
It's like
Simmons
saying you
over
take
Kyle Lowry.
Brogdon over Sabonis.
I
It's
wouldn't
like,
personally.
I don't know.
Wait, what'd you say?
It's like saying you take Brogdon over Sabonis. Like they're two. One's a point guard.
Well, I
One's a
would take
center.
Sabonis over Brogdon.
Well, they're-
Yeah, but you can. I mean, I agree with that, but
you kind of got to look at positions.
not really. I mean, like,
Kinda.
what about LeBron James? What is he? Like, really?
I would say
Everything.
I think he's a shoot. He's like a small forward, power forward.
Well,
But, like,
forward
he can be
point
a point
guard.
guard.
Yeah, but I'm looking at them.
He's their dominant ball handler.
Yeah, but I'm looking at like height.
Yeah, but like,
Height-wise.
okay, sure, but like,
Like
what's
he's a
Ben
big man.
Simmons then?
He's a big man.
He's a
What's Ben Simmons?
he's a
He's a
power
big man.
forward that
Even though he's a point guard.
Yes,
power
yeah,
forward that
I'm not
carries
looking
the
at what
ball.
position they play. I'm looking at their height. Like, would I rather have
But they're-
Simmons or would I rather have Middleton?
I'd rather
That's
have
a
Middleton than
conversation.
Simmons.
you could have.
So you're saying, would you rather want Enes Kanter or Lowry?
No, you can't say that because
Why?
their heights are totally different.
But obviously, Lowry's better than Kanter.
I
Yes,
agree he's a better overall player, but you still can't. It's
But-
hard to compare them.
yeah.
But you still would
Because
say
they don't
one's
do anything
better
the
at
same.
basketball than the other. Like, it's just like,
Well, you can say LeBron James is better than Colin Sexton.
well, I hope so.
Exactly, but like,
it's not because LeBron's
but like, why are
6'9",
you
it's 'cause he's
comparing them?
better.
Yeah, exactly. But why? What's the point in comparing them? Because they're not gonna. It's not like if they were on the same
Well, like,
team, they'd be
you
fighting
compare-
for a position.
The biggest
Actually, they would
comparison
because
for the
LeBron plays point guard. But
think about the biggest comparison in the past 2 years before Kevin Durant and LeBron. Who was it? Tell me. You and I both know who
What,
was getting
Kobe?
compared. No, LeBron and Curry.
LeBron and Curry,
Yeah, they were.
They were.
like,
being
They
compared for a
were.
while.
That's literally your matchup. Is LeBron versus Curry? Who was the better player? And some people were actually saying Curry. Like when he was winning MVP first time and then second time.
yeah, it's just because people. Don't
I think you're wrong. I really
Okay.
think you're wrong. I don't.
That's
I don't agree
fine.
with that.
You're allowed to think.
Okay,
I'm
can
wrong.
I finish my
yes,
list here?
Yes.
My next underrated player is Nicole Goosevich, top 7
He's a
center.
good one.
Plays on the Magic, so he doesn't get very much appreciation either. He could be 100% an All-Star this
Wait,
year.
who's there?
Nicole
Are
Goosevich.
they in the playoffs?
No.
No.
They're like 13, but they're all like the 7 through 8 through
Yeah, it's
13
like 2
teams,
games.
like 2
or-
games.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the guy. To be honest.
Did you trade him away?
Yep.
And then you regretted trading him away?
Yeah.
That's why you don't like him. So you traded him away. He's a beast.
And then my number one most underrated player, in my opinion, is Jonte Murray. Plays for the Spurs, so Spurs are not a very exciting team to watch right now, but they are very good. I think Murray's averaging about 18,
Something like that.
and he plays amazing defense.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Personally, I just think he's an underrated player.
Max.
You have your list.
I can get my list out. By the way, Vucevic has been playing like terrible lately, so I don't really care that much.
He just had a beast of a game. Didn't he have like
Yeah.
17 rebounds the other night?
I don't know. He had
16
16 rebounds.
16.
Oh, no, just 16. 16, sorry.
One less.
Went for 16 points, 8 out of 24.
Yeah, but then
From
look,
the field goal.
look,
0
couple
of
days.
7
27 and 27,
Yeah, but
50
that
and
was-
4.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago.
That was like last week.
That was
That was the 9th. That was 10 days ago.
Yeah, that's more than last week.
You just
No,
said he's been
it's
playing
not.
bad
These are
recently.
7
That's
days.
You just
last
said
week.
you just said he's been playing bad recently. You can't say he's been
Yeah,
playing bad.
his past 2 games.
42 points.
That was 3 games ago. That was 3 games ago. The
You're
past
just saying
two-
That was 5 days ago. That's within the last week.
Yeah, well, whatever.
You're gonna get
That was
mad
when
at
I
the guy
said that
'cause
to
he
you on
hasn't
Instagram.
played
Yeah,
any
that
points
was-
in the last
yeah,
2
but
days.
he put up 14 and 10, and then 16 and 16.
Those still
but,
aren't even bad numbers.
But they're from terrible field goal, and he's not playing as well as he could have been playing.
Okay, why
So
don't you just
he's-
give us your
I'll
list?
just give us your list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vucevic is a great player.
Okay.
Super
I
underrated.
do think he is underrated. I'll give you that. It's not as underrated as we think. Anyways, my top 5 underrated.
Oh my gosh. Steph Curry.
LeBron James.
I thought I was a basketball guy.
You are.
You guys just pick on me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
we
the
do.
things you say are just
Some of your takes are
mind-boggling.
No, okay.
You're not
My
realistic.
first
Just go.
one-
Who do you cheer for?
Who do I cheer?
Yeah,
You're
who
a
do you
LeBron
cheer
fan.
for? Are you just a LeBron fan?
He's a LeBron
This
fan.
is you're not a basketball guy.
Okay, go on. Let him talk.
I'm getting
Let him talk for a minute here.
confused here. So I had Jeremy Grant as my Detroit Pistons underrated player. I don't even actually know his stats too well.
It's like-
I got him.
honestly, but
I got
yeah, show me what's Grant. Who has
24 points.
Yeah, 24 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.5 blocks.
88% from the free throw
Like, he
line.
hit 43 points the last game. Like, the guy's kind of been going off. It's just kind of seems a little bit
He's on the
inconsistent.
He's on the Pistons. So I mean, you
Yeah,
can't
but
talk
it could
about
be
it all.
on any team. And
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that's why I agree with you that he's underrated.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
on the Pistons. They're the worst team in the NBA.
Well, he's my number one.
We're gonna have a fight about here.
Underrated
I'm
player.
reading over his shoulder. We're
Is
about
it
to...
Ben Simmons?
No.
Okay, good.
It's worse.
Go.
It's worse.
All right. So for my second underrated player, and you guys are gonna think it's stupid, but it's true.
Well, I'll let you talk and then I'll yell
It's
at you.
Zion Williamson, and that's my second underrated player. So the reason why I have Zion as my second underrated player is because recently Brandon and Noah have been trying to make the argument that Brandon Ingram
I'm
is
sticking to it.
is just as good, if not better, than Zion.
I will
I'll stick with that as well.
I will stick with
Okay,
it.
Stick with
well,
that as well.
if you guys want to actually like
Can I
look,
say
Explain
something?
yourself.
You can't be
Explain
underrated when
yourself.
you're on House of Highlights every night.
Exactly.
he's not
He
on
gets
House of
praised up the
Highlights.
yin yang.
He makes
so
he
dumb.
does a dunk. Oh my God! Look at Zion. He's so strong.
Every time I check
okay,
Instagram,
I'm
there's a
saying-
post of Zion.
I'm saying
Zion
Chris
doing a dunk. Zion doing
Boucher
a-
put someone on a poster. Nowhere to be seen except for the Raptors Instagram.
Zion gets a layup. Whoa!
Oh my God!
Okay.
He's not underrated.
He is 100%.
He might be underrated by me and Noah. I don't even
That's
think
what
that.
I'm talking
I think
about.
he's amazing. Me and Noah,
I think
last
he's
time
good.
we fought, we said he's amazing.
I just
And
thought-
he will be
We're
amazing.
gonna go
But,
back
okay,
to the Brandon
okay.
Ingram
Yeah, we're
conversation,
saying
every
this
single
year-
basketball podcast.
Last time we talked about it, we said this year I would pick Brandon Ingram over Zion. Zion's been great lately.
If
I
you
checked
look-
the stats.
Okay.
I
but
looked
look
at them last night.
Okay.
They were tied 23
Guys gonna let me
23.
talk or
Now
not
Zion
gonna
is
let me
25.
No, we're not letting you talk.
Okay,
It's
I'm
stupid.
going to give you an explanation.
not
Why.
underrated.
You guys are just getting so pissed off about it. All I'm saying is, if you look at, okay, I'll give you the last 5 games of Brandon Ingram,
Okay.
and then I'm going to give you the last 5 games of Zion.
Okay.
And you tell me what's the difference. Brandon Ingram in the last 5 games. Last night, 14-5-6, 22-4-7, 26-4-7, 35-5, 21-5-4.
Okay.
Okay, good stats, good numbers, sure. Zion. 36-6-4-2, 31-7-6, 26-8-3, 36-2-4, 29-4-2.
Look at his field goal percentage.
Okay.
And
But
field goal percentage is even
Because
higher.
he takes dunks only.
you're
that's
not.
what you're-
You're not. Those stats aren't helping your argument.
About
He's
underrated.
becoming
You're-
a better player than Ingram. He's
Yes.
This-
okay,
we,
but-
we said
but-
we said that. We
okay, but
said
Noah-
in 2 years
I
I
mean,
will.
Noah, Max,
This year
you're
he's
talking,
already better.
Okay, but you're
This year he's
comparing
already better.
Zion to Ingram right now, which is not helping your argument
what-
at all.
what-
You're saying he's underrated.
I'm
He is
saying
not
he-
underrated.
I'm saying he's underrated.
He's
because-
not. He's loved and he's talked about. And as soon as someone says if you ask someone name a player on the Pelicans, they're saying Zion. That's the first person they're saying.
Sure.
How is he underrated?
Because you guys still think
If you ask
Brandon
someone to name a
Ingram-
Raptors player, they're probably going Pascal, Fred VanVleet, Lowry.
Not in Toronto. Like
If you ask any NBA player, the first person they're going to say is
Pascal,
probably
yeah.
Pascal.
Yeah.
Which is why
Lowry's
we're
going to be
saying
the third
Lowry's-
guy.
Okay, but if you're talking about
He's not.
actual NBA fans,
yeah.
I think most NBA fans think Zion is only able to do one thing, and that makes him
Which is
not that good.
he is
And
not
I
able to
just
do
don't
one
agree
thing.
with that. It's like
But
It's so
everybody knows
stupid.
Zion. It's like...
Yeah, everyone knows Zion, but I think he's doing a lot better than we actually thought he would be
Like,
doing.
did you know that Jordan Clarkson was getting 18 points a game this year from
Yeah.
96% from the line?
Well, no, but did you know Zion is doing
Yes.
as well as he is?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't.
I think everyone knew Zion was averaging high 20 points a game.
We're 30 minutes in. We haven't even gotten past our top
Are we
5.
30 minutes in? Holy jeez. Okay,
Okay.
Max, skip
Okay,
that.
no,
He's
no.
not underrated.
Let me say my last.
You're
final
telling
point.
his stats. His stats don't help your argument. Like, he's known by everybody.
But just because you're known doesn't mean you're not underrated.
Yes,
because
That's exactly what it means.
underrated means. Underrated
What if
means
you're
people nobody talks about.
But
that are
underrated-
If you're nobody that's
Okay,
known
what
is
does
underrated.
actually mean? It's
Underrated means you are playing really well and nobody's talking about
No,
it.
it isn't.
Yes, underrated means you're playing really well and nobody talks about it.
No.
Everybody talks about Zion.
But if underrated actually means, what it actually means is
Your play's
you're
going
given
unnoticed.
a rating, and you're actually you're given a rating, and they're saying no,
Not
basically
valued highly enough.
they're not valued highly
Exactly.
enough. I think Zion's not valued highly enough because his numbers are even better than what we thought they would be, and his numbers are even better.
Whoa. The definition of underrated is something that has not received the merit, recognition, or
He's
praise
getting a lot
it
of
deserves.
recognition.
Exactly.
He gets tons of
No,
recognition.
last year he did. Whenever he
No,
first
this
came.
Still
year,
does.
yeah.
I see him over House of Highlights and Sports Center every night.
No,
Who's your
that's
next
not
player?
true.
Who's your next player?
Let's move on.
Who's your next player?
You guys,
We're gonna be here. We'll be here for 3
You guys-
hours if we don't.
You're the
move
one
on.
who said we need
understand.
to get this podcast over.
All right.
with, So, who's your next player?
CB3.
Agree. He's underrated.
Yeah, and then Terry Rozier,
This year, agree.
Yeah.
and then Devontae Murray.
I agree because he's my number 1.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna move on. We're
Perimeter
moving on.
defenders.
Perimeter defenders, because we're gonna have a lot of issues here as well, probably. You want to go first?
No, go ahead.
Okay. I'm just gonna go right through them and I'll talk about them later. I'll put mine in order. First best perimeter defender, Kawhi Leonard. Number 2, Marcus Smart. Number 3, Ben Simmons. Number 4, Jrue Holiday. Number 5, maybe showing a bit of Raptors bias, OG Anunoby. Kawhi Leonard's a given. Best defender in the league. So he's got to be up there. You put him on anybody, and you definitely have a high chance of stopping them completely. Marcus Smart could also be put in underrated. I believe he was like all defensive first team last year or second. Just going to be a pest to your best player. Ben Simmons, you know what you're getting from him. He's going to get you your steals. He's such a big defender. He can guard 1 through 5. Jrue Holiday
He's
is...
the best defender in the league.
No, Kawhi's,
Yeah, he is.
Kawhi's still 100%.
No.
So
100%.
who?
Kawhi has not done shit.
This year?
Kawhi's leading the league in steals.
Yeah, so
Who-
what?
who's
He
your
can't guard 1
defensive
through
player of the
5.
year?
Ben Simmons can.
Kawhi
Who's your
Leonard...
defensive player of the year?
Ben Simmons, 100%. Wide open, 100% way better than Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard played in the defense... When he was in the playoffs last year against Luka, he switched off of Luka, and then Luka just started scoring more. Like,
Okay, but
Kawhi
why are
Leonard
you bringing
is
up
not
last
actually
year?
that... Why? Because that was the last time we
Yeah,
saw
but we're
him.
talking about NBA this year. Kawhi Leonard's been the best defensive player this year.
No, he hasn't.
Yes, he has.
No, he has
Okay,
not.
mine are...
100% not true.
Okay, so I looked at, like, I totally agree with Noah's stats. Like, if you're watching the game, you know Kawhi Leonard's probably guarding the best defender.
No, he hasn't.
And he's a past...
Last year he did it in the playoffs.
I looked at
Just saying.
a little bit of analytical stats here, like loose balls recovered and deflections and stuff like that. So that's where my basis is going off of. So my number 1 perimeter defender is Jrue Holiday. He's 2nd in the league in deflections, 3rd in the league in loose balls recovered. And the Bucks are on a 5-game losing streak, and Drew's been out, and it's kind of showing that they need him. My second guy is Pat Bev. I saw a stat about Pat Beverly that when he is the closest defender to the person who's shooting the ball, the person who shoots is only shooting at a 37% pace, which is 3rd best in the league. And the Clippers are one of the best defensive teams in the league, and he's one of their big defenders. So my third one is Ben Simmons. He's 4th in the league in deflections, and that closer defender stat, he's at 38%, which is just like a percent higher than Pat Bev, so he should be there too. My next one is a little bit of Raptors bias, Fred VanVleet. He's 2nd in the league in deflections and also 2nd in loose balls recovered. He normally, I mean, you can put Kyle there too, but him or Kyle are always guarding the other team's best small shooter. And my last one is a little curveball. I put LeBron James in there just because I read the stat that when LeBron James is the closer defender, the shooter is only shooting at a 36% pace, which is the best out of any singular person in the NBA. So I threw him in there.
Fair enough.
You go with that.
For my perimeter defenders, so I have Simmons, Beverly, LeBron, Drew Holiday, and Andrew Wiggins.
You're
So ours
saying
are
you're saying you'd
basically
rather have
similar.
Andrew Wiggins defending your best player than Kawhi Leonard. You're saying you better have
This year,
Andrew
yeah.
Wiggins.
This year,
Andrew
yeah.
Wiggins has been
He has been good, but
This year,
but
100%.
you can't.
I'm not gonna go off of just because he used to be a really good defender. That makes him a really good defender this year. I'm just not going off that.
Your and mine lists are pretty similar.
Yeah.
We both had Drew. We both had
I know
Pat
Ben
Bev.
Simmons is 100% the best defender in the NBA.
The only difference between us is you had Wiggins and I had Fred VanVleet.
Wiggins has been playing insanely well defensively, and as good as Kawhi's been playing, he actually hasn't been that insane off defense because you've had a lot of other people on that team that have played really good defense as well.
Clippers got a good defense.
Like Beverly is playing insane defense.
Beverly's been-
Arguably better defense than Kawhi.
Beverly's been great.
So I don't get me wrong, Kawhi's a good player and a good defender, but I don't
Yeah.
think he's in Simmons level right now.
Okay, we'll quickly move on before someone gets punched out.
I just want to say Kawhi has a higher defensive win share than Ben Simmons.
No, he does.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
It
this-
literally says stats. We're talking about this year.
Okay, but I still think
MVP voting.
Ben Simmons.
My MVP this year is Joel Embiid so far. Because he is on my fantasy and he's the only reason I'm still in it. But actually, he's got 30 points. I round up, so he's like
Who has
29
more
points.
steals, Ben Simmons?
We're not
or
Kawhi.
He does? Who has
Yeah.
more blocks?
Probably Kawhi.
I think it's Kawhi, to be honest.
Probably Kawhi. They're both great defenders.
I'm not saying. I'm like.
No, I know.
I know. I think Ben Simmons is 0.2 more.
So,
he's averaging one a game. Ben Simmons.
I round up. So I
0.6,
think Joel Embiid's got 29.7
28.7
points or something like that. So I just round up to 30. He's got 30 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists this year. For a big man, he's shooting 40% from three, 85% from the free throw line. So he's a valuable option when the game's close in the fourth quarter. And I know in the NBA, the MVP is normally going to the person on a team in the top 3 in either conference. And the 76ers are first in the East, so I'll give it to Joel.
I believe me and Max have the same MVP, different than Brandon. Personally, my MVP is LeBron James. The Lakers are the 2 seed. I believe they have the 2nd or 3rd best record in the NBA. Anthony Davis, or as we like to call him, Day-to-Day Davis,
They need him.
has been out for a while.
They look bad.
LeBron's 36. He shows no signs of slowing down whatsoever. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but whenever I watch, it's just he's controlling the game.
3,500 points last
Yeah.
night.
So, personally, yeah, LeBron James is my MVP.
Joel
Joel was a close
yeah.
second.
I just want to say quickly, though, the Lakers don't look like Dennis Schroeder's out, and Anthony Davis is out, and they did not look good.
I mean,
last
they only
night.
still lost by 11 to the Nets.
But I know. But if I actually watched the game and it just didn't. I don't know. It wasn't like a team that I thought would make it to the finals. What are you gonna say about LeBron?
yeah,
man?
he's your MVP.
My MVP is LeBron too, but
He's still worried about this defensive stats.
Okay, well, if you're looking at that, we'll move right on to rookie
I
of the year.
think we all have the same rookie of the year.
LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo Ball. Yeah.
I mean, as much as I don't hate the guy. I hate social media because
Same.
literally my feed is LaMelo Ball.
see that's my point. You're not seeing Zion. You're seeing
Yes,
all
he
Yes,
is.
LaMelo.
Zion
he's
all the
Zion
time.
as well.
I see Zion every
But LaMelo
What
Ball,
was the last thing you saw of Zion?
Probably a dunk.
some dunk.
When?
LaMelo Ball
Probably yesterday.
is averaging 15 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. He's kind of the guy. I would say LaMelo is the guy that you were hoping Lonzo was going to be.
Miles Turner.
He's playing on a
Miles
Hornets
down,
team that wasn't expected to be as good as they are. I think the Hornets are
That was at
6th
the
in the
beginning of the
East
year.
or something like that.
So right now it's
Well, they argue about
Ben Simmons is second.
about defensive
No
stuff.
Kawhi.
Um,
No Kawhi in here.
like I said, LaMelo is kind of the person the Lakers were hoping Lonzo would be. And yeah, he's playing on a I would say a weaker Hornets team, and they're playing a lot better than I thought they would. So
I don't even think we really have to talk about him because B-Will just talked about him.
Yeah, I don't.
I believe we all have the same 6-man too.
Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah. You want to talk about him again?
I mean, I've already said his stats 3 times in this podcast. 18 points, 40% from deep, 96% from the free throw line as a six-man on a Jazz team that's been, they've lost 5 games this year. And when you're getting 18 points a game, when you got Bogdanovich, Ingles, Mitchell, Gobert,
He's averaging more steals, isn't he?
he definitely is front runner for six-man. Defensive player of the year.
You go first.
No, go ahead. I've been talking for so long.
Keep you talking. My defensive player of the year is Kawhi Leonard. I know Max is already probably scowling at me right now, but he's leading the league in defensive win shares, and steals, and you put him on your number 1 player per game, no matter what Max says.
That's not true,
I'm
though.
still
They don't. If you watch the games, they don't do it every game. And Kawhi's not playing every game.
Who would guard LeBron James when the Jazz play the Lakers? It's not Pat Beverly.
I know, but
It's not Paul George.
Actually, Paul George and Kawhi both switch off on it.
Okay, we're
So
both
you got
switching
two
off on.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Kawhi's going to defend him every single stat, but you're not putting Kawhi Leonard on your worst
No,
offensive
you're not putting
player.
him on your worst, but in comparison to... So mine is Ben Simmons, and I would say Ben Simmons gets put 1 through 5 way more than Kawhi is. And that's because Ben Simmons can guard 1 through 5. There's no other player in the NBA that can guard 1 through 5 other than Ben Simmons, which is why I think he's so good. It's like you're gonna if technically the best defender is the person person that can defend all 5 positions would probably be the most valuable. Don't get me wrong, Kawhi's a great defender, but he's not guarding someone underneath the net. He just can't. Ben Simmons can't.
I wouldn't say he can't.
Okay, he can't. It's not that he can't, but he's gonna have a really tough time with it.
So
Ben
anybody.
Simmons is.
You put
Ben Simmons will not nearly as much. That's what I'm saying. Like Brandon, you even said it yourself. You said he's 6'10". That's why you can't compare him to another point guard.
Okay.
It's because he's 6'10".
You're right. Yeah.
We're not comparing him to a point guard. I'm comparing him to like a small forward, power forward type player.
And that's my point. And why he's so versatile is because he's
not
6'10".
versatile. He can't shoot.
Okay, defensively, he's versatile. He's the most versatile defender in the whole league. There's no other person that can do what he does. And that's why I think he's the defensive player of the year. And if you look at his stats, yeah, sure, Kawhi maybe has a tiny bit more win shares, but you could argue he probably isn't getting put on the same people that Ben Simmons is getting put on every single night.
You're also putting like Matisse Thybulle on those guys sometimes too when Ben Simmons is tired.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong, but I still think.
Even Joel Embiid's a great defender in his
But
zone.
he's not covering anything from.
Yeah, but if you're
1 to 3.
saying he's covering Ben Simmons covering everybody 1 through 5, if you playing against Anthony Davis, you're not going to put Ben Simmons on him. You're going to put Joel Embiid on him.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Don't get me wrong. I agree with that, but I still think your average game, you're still going to have him defending more people are having to. But also, even in steals, like you said, Kawhi is averaging 1.8 steals. Ben Simmons is averaging 1.7 steals. Like, they're very comparable. And if I had to be honest, I mean,
Yeah, 1.8.
I haven't actually looked at Kawhi's games too much this year, but I have watched
You just
Ben
trade for him?
Simmons, and I don't know.
Do you want to go with yours?
Yeah. I just want to throw another name out there. He's
Rudy Gobert.
He's won Rookie of the Year. He's won an MVP. The only award he's kind of missing on is Defensive Player of the Year, and I think he's got a chance this year.
Oh.
He can also guard 1 through 5.
Wait.
I'm gonna throw LeBron James out there.
Oh. You're
I was so
Defensive Player of the Year.
I was so
Yeah.
confused there for a minute.
For the simple fact that the stat I read that when LeBron James is the closest defender, the guy who is shooting the ball is shooting at 36%, which is no, I thought we just lost the recording. It's shooting at 36%, which is the lowest in the NBA. So basically, when LeBron James is on the person who's shooting, the person is shooting lower percentage than if anybody else in the league was on him. So
Fair enough.
Thank
That's good, yeah.
What do we have next? Most improved, I think.
we probably are all pretty.
I think me and you are the same. I think he's different.
You're different. I have Jeremy Grant.
So do I.
Yeah, I have Julius Randle.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I can't not.
Okay,
Yes, you
so
could.
the reason I had Jeremy Grant is because last year he had 12 points. This year he's got 24, so he's doubled his points. He's got 2 more rebounds and assists than last year. His free throw percentage last year was 75. Now it's 88, which is an insane improvement. Some could argue that the only reason his points are going up and all his stats are going up is because he's playing on the Pistons.
Some insane stats.
But if you look at free throw percentage, your free throw percentage doesn't go up 13% just because you're getting more minutes. Like he's obviously worked on his shot and he's doubled his points because of it.
I completely agree with Max's for Julius Randle. I was just looking at his stats. He have like better field goal, but Randle was a top pick in the draft. I think he was top 10. I'm probably wrong by that, but no, Jeremy Grant was a second round pick. You know, he was on the Thunder for a bit. Nobody knew about him. He went to the Nuggets as a bench player. All of a sudden, he gets a massive deal from the Pistons, and people are saying, "Why the heck they paying this guy $20 million a year when he has not shown that he's worth it?" And then he's out there averaging 24 on pretty good efficiency, I'd say, when he's shooting almost 9. Probably, I don't know what his usage is, but he's probably up there. But he's shooting 44 from field goal and 38 from 3 and 88 from the line. Personally, like Beal said, he doubled his points, so I have him as my most improved player.
All right.
I'll let you talk about Julius Randle.
So I have
we can do it.
in my most improved player, Julius Randle. I could have chosen anyone, honestly. I didn't have like a passionate decision off this, but if you look at Julius Randle's numbers, I mean, he's a career 16 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. And for me, don't get me wrong, Grant's great too, but I feel like, how old is Grant? Like, pretty young,
probably
right?
28.
I was going to say 28 as well.
26.
Okay.
He's been in the league for a bit.
And how old is Julius Randle?
Probably around the same.
You gotta click more info.
It's probably around the same.
26, same age.
Yeah, same age. Okay, so both of them are going into. I honestly thought that. Grant was younger, but
they're both playing on terror. I mean, the Knicks have been alright.
That's my point.
They're both playing on pretty bad teams.
I was gonna make the point is that the Knicks are actually doing okay. And the fact is, his numbers are still better than Grant's. They might not necessarily have been as much of a change, so I guess that's when you could say, well, one's more improved than the other. But what player seemed to make a jump that was like more impactful? I would say Julius Randle. Like
more impactful for sure.
Yeah, like he's put up 23.5 points, 11 rebounds, 5.5 assists,
and they're leading to wins.
Yeah, and it's 48 from the field, 80% from the free throw, which is good for a big man.
Yeah.
And he's got a PR of 20, so like he's doing.
I agree with both.
He's got insane
sure.
numbers. Yeah, you could say.
I could lean towards yours, but
that's the thing about most improved. Like no matter what the name you throw, like someone could have
someone
could have threw out Chris Boucher, and people would have been like, "Yeah, I can see that."
No, he's kind of playing terrible lately.
He had a good game last night. He was okay.
See, we will move on to the coach of the year. I don't know what B-Well has. I know Max has different than me.
Perfect. Go ahead, Max.
Go ahead, yeah. I don't know what you have.
So I had, even though I've been kind of bashing these players, I have Tyronn Lue as my coach of the year.
Clippers?
Yes.
Clippers? Yeah. If you actually, so this is his first year with the team, or, yeah, first year
head coach.
First year head coach. He was last year's assistant. I really like Ty Lue. I think he was great whenever LeBron had him. I think he's kind of a bit underrated, honestly, just because LeBron was on his team.
LeBron was the coach.
Yeah, LeBron was the coach.
Exactly. LeBron was the coach. But, yeah, no, I thought he was kind of like even underrated to some extent. Like people kind of forgot that he was a championship level coach. And this year, the Clippers after last year's disaster in the playoffs, they were definitely getting a lot of heat. And since then, Tyronn Lue has kind of like recreated their whole kind of like so the Clippers last year they basically they weren't 100% into the whole play every single game and actually take it serious, and actually take whoever you're playing against serious, and they just assumed that whenever it came to playoffs that they'd fly right by, right? But I think Tyronn Lue has told this team and figured out how to let this team actually play every single game and actually, take it seriously. And I think with that mindset, they're going to be really tough out in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So,
like,
that's my coach of the year. Clippers have been great this year. So
yeah, they've definitely changed. Like when you think about them last year, you kind of think of like a savvy team just because you had like Pat Bev and Montrezl Harrell and stuff like that, and then that didn't really work for them in the playoffs. But I don't watch them religiously, but I mean they definitely have a different identity this year. Like when I watch them, it's just like they're coming to do a job. 2-man podcast.
Yeah, 2-man. Screw Max, he's out.
Okay, I'll I'll talk about my coach, then I'll come over here and be Max. That's a good pick, Brendan.
It's a terrible pick. What are you talking about?
Okay, go ahead.
My coach here is Quinn Snyder of the Utah Jazz. Best team in the NBA record-wise.
Quinn Snyder? That's terrible.
Best,
Should be Lionel Messi.
Best
Max,
record
you're
in
an
the
idiot.
NBA. Nobody thought the Jazz were gonna. Some people didn't even have the Jazz in the playoffs start of the season. Some people were kind of iffy about the Rudy Gobert extension, giving him that much money. But the Jazz have just put it all together. They had, I think, 14 game win streak.
Yeah, something like that.
They're like,
and they've won 9 in a row again. They lost one game.
Yeah, they're like 19-1 in their last 20 games.
That's
like
stupid.
Donovan Mitchell's playing great. You don't really have necessarily other than Jordan Clarkson come off the bench number 2 on that team, unless you want to say Bogdanovich, which I probably would. But to me, Quinn Snyder's been the coach of the year for overachieving Jazz team.
Well, I'm a little upset because Noah basically took the words right out of my mouth. Everything I wrote down on the computer is exactly what Noah said. I have Quinn Snyder, like Noah said, they're best start in franchise history, 24-5, tops in the league. The one thing, the Jazz coach, the one thing Noah didn't say that should be taken into account is he was chosen to coach the West All-Stars.
I didn't.
And I think that just helps our point. If you're chosen to coach the West All-Stars, and we can all say the West is way better than the East. And yeah, for sure. I agree with Quinn Schneider.
This is mine, remember.
Okay, so what are we gonna do about overrated?
Do you want to do this? We're sitting at 50 minutes.
Sure. I don't care.
Do you want to do all 6?
You want to do all
or
6? You just want to pick one of each.
Why don't we just make sure we go through it really fast?
That's not going to happen if you have Ben Simmons.
I'm just going to say it and you guys can tell me.
Okay,
we're going to
go through them really quickly.
Let's go through an overrated, underrated real quick so we don't fight each other. I'll start so that I don't get into a conversation. Max picked Ben Simmons. We're doing just point.
No, that's not
Darren Fox is first.
We're starting with Darren Fox?
Yeah, because that's how Max. That's
okay.
We're
going to start with Darren Fox. Personally, I think Darren Fox is a little underrated.
Yeah, why aren't we letting people that?
Okay, well, I thought we were going to talk about Ben Simmons. That's why I wanted to go first. I didn't want to argue.
For guys that don't want to talk about him, kind of. Anyways, yeah. So I have Darren Fox. I had him as overrated. Personally, he hasn't been playing that well recently. And
why do you talk about recently all the time? He's averaging 23 points a game this year.
He's averaging 23 points.
And the Kings are fighting for. Kings are fighting for a playoff spot.
Yeah, they're fighting.
Well, they're like 7th seed right now.
Are they?
When you're looking at the West.
He's on my team.
Obviously, Max doesn't know what he's talking about with his overrated, underrated.
Just call me a basketball guy. Sure. Let's see here. Darren Fox. So yeah, the reason why I had him as a bit slightly overrated.
23-7.
So he's averaging 23, 7, and 3 this season. But if you actually look at his field goal, I know
his field goal is bad. His field goal is 45.
Terrible.
That's not even that bad.
No,
his 3-point is 33. So he's
It's
average.
gonna be his free throw. It's gonna screw him.
His free throw is 71.
Yeah, he's
so
not
like,
a great free throw shooter.
He's an average shooter.
So since his 1 game absence, it's nothing crazy. It's just his Fox's double was efficient but not spectacular. His scoring is heading in the wrong direction after 1 game absence, diving from 23 points to 19. And now down to 11 points in Thursday's loss. So he's just continuously
11 and 10.
Okay, but that happens.
11 and 10.
That happens to everybody. Everybody has a game off.
Everybody. I don't know. I just think for someone at his level, I mean.
What happens when LeBron James has a 14-point game?
They go nuts.
Nobody talking.
Yeah, but I think that's
LeBron's
very unlikely. I think
it's happened this year.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
I got to update my lineup.
But what game was it in? And was it in a?
They won.
What happened to not
talk
about this?
Okay, well that's my point. It's like Darren Fox when he's dropping 11 points. It's not because it's like. It's not because he took a. Okay, well, all my point is.
Last night they lost. They choked. They choked.
Okay.
I think that honestly, that is hurting Max's point. Like you're saying, LeBron James got 14 points in the game and they won. If De'Aaron Fox puts up 11 points, the Kings are losing.
Yeah, but why would you say like
I
the
think
whole
he's-
LeBron thing getting 14 points? Because LeBron doesn't get 14 points.
He got 14 points. I was literally watching, and he finished with 14 points in one of the games,
Okay.
and they won.
But what was his field goal percentage? Was it terrible
don't
like
know.
Fox's? Like
I
that's
don't
what
know.
I mean. Like
The only thing I'm saying that is though because
47% field goal is not.
So
that bad.
if LeBron
it's been terrible.
if LeBron puts up 14 points, the Lakers can still win, right?
Yeah.
If Fox puts up 11 points, they're not gonna win,
No.
and I think that's why he's underrated, because
Agreed.
if he puts up 11, they're not winning. He is the best player on their team.
But that doesn't make him underrated or overrated. That just means that he has less help than LeBron. But I don't even agree with that anyways. Like it's close, but it's not even like that much of a deal. But
Let's keep going. I thought we
Alright.
were
What'd you say? What do you think?
I have him
Fox
as
is?
underrated as well.
Okay, so we both.
I have him as
You-
overrated
okay.
just because he's playing like shit lately, and he takes a lot of shots, and I'm not really impressed with his game because like he doesn't really do much other than get you points at 20, but it's not even like that great of a field goal percentage. And he's not
average.
even getting that many. Like he's getting
Probably above
assists, but he's
average,
not
to be
getting any rebounds. And he's terrible from the free throw. He's 68% from the free
71. You're looking at recently.
throw. No, this career.
Oh, in his career. We're
His
talking,
career
okay.
is 71.
This
This
year
year
he's
is 68. Like,
Yeah.
he's
Oh, this
playing-
year he's 68. Yeah,
I
you're
said
right.
that
You're
he's
right, you're
not.
right.
He's not gonna. You don't like in a late game situation. Out of anybody on the floor, I'd probably want to foul him or the center.
Yeah.
If
Like
center
that's my
can't shoot.
point. Like I don't know. I don't see him as like I see LaMelo Ball being better than him next year. I see LaMelo Ball almost being
But
better
this,
than this.
so like
I know.
this year he's shooting 48% from the field and
But he's not
30,
even
34% from
You know how
three.
you guys are making 33. You said this
33
last time too.
33.6. We round up around here.
I thought you said 43. Sorry, I heard you say
34.
34. Okay,
Yeah.
so 34.
That's
from-
above average.
It's probably right around.
Yeah.
average.
It's
probably
average.
right around.
We were just
average.
What's
making
wrong
the,
with
whenever
that?
we were bringing up Luka and we were saying Luka and Dame, we were bringing up the 3-point percentage and how it was terrible. And it was
No,
the
that's
same
because
one.
Doncic is like average, and
What?
Dame's
Dame's above
is
average.
way
In
above
shooting.
average.
Yeah, but we were making an argument that Doncic wasn't very good from the 3. Like,
But
it
we
wasn't-
all know that Luka's better than Fox, so you would expect Luka's percentage to be better.
Yeah,
and
but
it's not.
I'm just saying, if we're talking about Darren Fox's numbers, they're not that impressive.
They're pretty
If
impressive.
they're not, if he's not, like a field goal percentage from 3 that's low at 33. I'm not saying it's really low. I'm just saying for that guy's level. I
We
don't
just
know.
talked about Darren Fox for 6 minutes.
I don't know.
I mean, he's averaging 23 points a game.
He's averaging
and
23.
if he's not playing well, the Kings don't win. So, anyways,
My player next is Kemba Walker. Personally, I have him as overrated.
do we all have him
we
as
all
overrated?
do overrated.
I have him as overrated.
Who, Kemba Walker?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I guess
Overrated-
Everyone knows he's playing like shit. this
Everyone, I mean,
yeah.
overrated doesn't mean we hate. I like Kemba Walker, but like, I mean, he was kind of brought in to be the guy with Tatum.
year. So what
and he's
is
just kinda-
overrated mean, really? It just basically means,
Overrated means
People
they're-
think he's better than
he's
he is
better
playing
than
with.
he is.
Yeah. So yeah,
People probably still have him as a top 6 point guard in the league when he's probably not playing like one this year.
But like, he's like a third option behind Brown and Tatum.
Yeah, agreed. We all have him as overrated. B-Well's first player is Jamal Murray. Personally, I have him as underrated.
Underrated?
Yes.
I'm as perfectly rated.
I'd say, if not overrated, but yeah, probably.
So we all
I
have
think
something
people
different?
only overrate him because of his bubble.
What?
That's the only reason he's getting overrated is because of his bubble performance last year.
Yeah.
Sure,
say
but
that
that
his
still makes him overrated.
people say that his stats aren't
And then
good,
you could
but I
say
mean,
Tyler Hero's overrated.
Pardon?
You could say Tyler Hero's overrated then.
He is overrated.
I think
Okay,
everyone
agreed.
thinks he's
Agreed. Okay, we're on the same page there.
he hasn't. But the thing is, he hasn't been good this year.
That's
Hero
my point.
Murray has been decent.
He's been decent, but he hasn't been that great.
But he's putting up 20 points behind,
No.
like
Jokic.
an arguably
He's putting up 20.
MVP, Nikola Jokic. He is
Yeah.
putting up 20. I looked because to write this down. But like, I mean,
19.4.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
same
round.
thing.
We round.
That's rounding down.
Oh shoot, we round up.
Field goal is percentages are pretty decent too.
Well, yeah, like when you're behind Jokic and Jokic is having the season he's having, you're not gonna score 30 points a night when Jokic is scoring 30 points a night. I think he's perfectly rated. I think he's a great number two option. He's a shooter.
Max's next player is Ben Simmons. We already know Max has him as underrated, so Max doesn't have to talk about him because we talked about him for most of this podcast, I'd say.
Yeah, well, he
Let's
We
see
know
why.
your reasons for having
We know
him.
your reasons. Personally, I got him as just right.
I have him as just right as well.
So, like, I don't, like, on the defensive side of the ball, 100% top 3
He's
defensive
having his
player.
best season of the year. Best
Well,
season
that's
of
the
his
thing, though.
career, sorry.
People say he's a great defender, and he is. People say he's a good inside scorer, and
People
he
say
is.
he can't shoot.
People
so that
say
makes
he
him a bad
can't
player.
shoot, and he can't. People say he's a great playmaker, and he is. People say he's a good rebounder, and he is. So he's perfectly rated at where he is.
My next player is Kyle Lowry. I have him as underrated. I said him earlier whenever we were doing the underrated players. He does everything that you want a player to do, so I'll leave it to you guys.
I have Kyle Lowry as underrated as well. I think the only reason he's underrated is because he plays on the Raptors. If he played on any other team, he would get the TV recognition he deserves, and people would know his name.
I think he's perfectly rated, considering the fact that they just had their championship and we've gotten a lot of Kyle Lowry exposure in the past couple of years. I think everyone knows who he is. I think he's also been to the All-Star games tons of times, so it's not like he doesn't get recognition from the league. You know, he's aging right now. He's having a good career, but he's probably playing a little bit less than Chris Paul, and I'd say we give Chris Paul about the same recognition as Lowry.
Do you have him as a Hall of Famer?
Pardon?
Do you have him as a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, because he won a championship.
Yeah.
Just
But
'cause he won.
I just think he's probably...
It'd be close if you
he's
didn't
just
win that
rated.
championship.
Yeah.
He's definitely not underrated just because I think, the fact that he's had exposure as a champion and being a number 1 guy. Number 2 guy, Kawhi. You know, that makes him definitely, I think, got, noticeability.
And the last player is Mike Conley.
Personally, I have him as underrated. He's not putting up stellar numbers, but in the role he's playing behind Mitchell and Gobert, and like we said, Bogdanovich.
Mike Conley. I was talking
Yeah,
about Jazz.
Bogdanovich, Ingles,
Doesn't have it.
even Clarkson. He's still putting up, 16?
I think 18.
18? 18's even better. 18 on a Jazz team that I feel like, even though they're 24-5,
16 and 6.
16 and 6, those are pretty good
on
numbers.
efficiency.
As like a number 3-4 option. On a
Agreed.
Jazz team that's 24-5, and even though they're 24-5, like when I watch their games, it's like it doesn't even feel like they're getting the recognition of being the best team in the NBA right now.
I agree with everything Beal said. I have him as underrated. He had a pretty brutal first year at the Jazz last year.
Last year's team.
People thought he was just going to keep progressing. Had him as one of the worst contracts in the NBA because he's getting paid close, just over $30 million, which I agree he's still a bit overpaid. But he is having a great bounce back year. It's great to see, and I have him as underrated.
I have him as, I'll say, underrated, just because I can't disagree with most of the stuff you guys say about how he's actually having a bounce back year. And, underrated would probably say that most people think he's not playing as well as he is, and I would definitely agree with that. So,
Yeah.
So,
still think you guys are freaking crazy off the Ben Simmons
We
one.
said
but-
perfectly rated.
No,
It's
I
not like
know.
we said he's overrated.
No, I know.
I could have made you mad and put him overrated, but I didn't.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, guys, we're going to wrap this up. If you enjoyed, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to Never Miss a Podcast, and we will see you next week.
See ya.